Hello, hello, hello. You all come in, come in. I know it is late Sunday night, but the last time I went live on the Sunday night, it was a 2 hour long conversation. So I'm just trying to see who's awake, who's woke. Last 3 days really did not have the energy to live stream. So I have about 80% of my energy. So I wanted to hit the go live button to see who I can get to come in and have a Sunday night conversation, right? Wow, if you are a sports fan, in fact, I have my Deloach Just Do It Nike rendition shirt on. If you are a sports fan, then you definitely should have watched, or if you did watch the LSU um, versus Iowa basketball game today, and a lot of hidden secrets, a lot of hidden codes in sports that I always inform you all about. And I knew at the beginning of the game, if you don't know, I am a former basketball coach. And so I do watch sports just like most people, or the reason why most people watch it, especially basketball, right? I watch it for entertainment purposes. But now I really watch it on a different perspective, a different viewpoint, because I've come to realize I'm studying the economy that if you understand sports, right? If you follow the trends, if you follow the colors, even the numbers of a certain team, or even the mascot, right, of a certain team, then you can pick and choose who will win the game. And I really don't get much into that because I don't like when I break down numbers for people to use numbers in a context or in a way that they are gambling or playing scratch off with it. I don't believe that's the right context of using numbers. In fact, Jesus flipped tables in the temple because of the money changers. So I don't believe in that biblical breaking down biblical numbers so you can play scratch off. And I'm gonna say this like this, right? I'm gonna say it like this. Rich and wealthy people, as I'm looking down, I'm just looking at my notes, so stay with me, right? Rich and wealthy people, they teach their children to invest, right? They teach their children to invest. The poor working class teach their children to gamble. Let me say that again for the people in the nosebleed seats. Rich and wealthy people teach their children to invest, but rich and wealthy people teach their children teach their children um, to invest, and the poor working class teach their children to gamble. I also have a spin on that, right? I also have a spin on that most middle class, no, not middle class, I'll say it this way, because you have the upper middle class that are six-figure income earners or and above, but some middle class teach their children to pray for prosperity, to pray, Pray, not Prey. And some may teach to pray, Prey, while others, while rich and wealthy families, teach their children to plan for prosperity. I definitely believe in the power of prayer. I believe in the power of agreement. I believe that prayer most definitely changes things. But I think prayer changes people more than it changes things as well, right? They have wealthy people that gamble too. Wealthy people gamble for more of entertainment as recreation, not with the hope that they're going to become a millionaire because they already are decamillionaires and multimillionaires. The poor working class gamble with hopes of becoming a millionaire and chasing after something that even if they don't have the financial knowledge of how to attain, if they hit that, they won't keep it anyway. So yes, rich and wealthy people gamble. The richest and wealthy. I mean, let's look at Michael Jordan in sport. He gambled, but that was after he got his multiple millions in. And at that point, for Michael Jordan, for example, it was just a competitive thing, something he wanted to do out of competitiveness, not out of a desire or a desperation per se, to get wealthy to get wealthy. So I'm glad you brought that point out, Jay Kendrick. And so That's the difference of mentality, right? The difference of mentality when it comes to scratch offs and gambling, right? When you really look at the amount that you spent in scratch off versus the amount that you've gained, if you're the poor working class, you spent out way more than what you put in, right? And it is not the prosperity plan of the rich and wealthy. Is that let me play scratch off, let me hit the lottery, you know. It's That's not their plan. They do it out of pleasure, not out of desperation. There's not their financial plan. That's not their come up to better their life financially. So, hello to you, Hog Major. So let's break down LSU first. LSU, right, is mascot is the tiger, right? So I looked at Ohio and the Hawkeyes, and the first thing I thought, oh, LSU is going to win because you know that China celebrates not only the year of the rabbit, but the tiger is a strong zodiac sign for China, and this is what's all tied to the economy. The tiger is a strong zodiac sign, and so actually, you have the year of the tiger that and the personality that China, um, celebrates celebratory as well. So you might be asking me, well, Queen, what does that have to do with the economy? Well, if you've been studying the economy, right, like I have for any amount of time, you know that China right now, along with other countries, the BRICS nation, BRICS is abbreviated for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, right? They are in collaboration along with other states, other countries, other countries to trump, and I'm using that word Trump as the news about Trump and his indictment is just a distraction, right? That's just a distraction. But you have the news about that and that's going on right now. But as they are trumping or doing away with the United States dollar, you have the Kansas City Chiefs, right? So Kansas City Chiefs, the colors are what red and what yellow. So those China flag, China colors. So looking at the boys game tomorrow, I won't even because I don't even like to say that because I know there's some people that because I break down numbers that they play sports bet. So I'm not even gonna go into tomorrow's game of who I predict to win. But numbers are signs. There's signs and symbolism of what has happened in the past and what definitely can happen in the future. My connection with numbers is again closely related to the economy, and that's it. That's I don't break down your birthday. I don't, you was born on a certain day. I don't read your, I don't really connect it into astrology like that. I don't tell people what their numbers are. And because, I use numbers differently. Like when I see a number code on something that I want to invest in, then I make the investment. That's my sign to invest. Some people have been telling me, for example, for years, I've been seeing numbers and I always question, okay, what do you do? How do you respond when you see those numbers? Do you pray? Do you meditate? Do you ask for guidance? Do you ask why? What's the purpose? Or, are you kind of like the saying of um, the old saying, I see dead people. You just want to tell people, I see numbers. I see numbers. I don't think it's anything exuberant about that. I don't think it's anything special about just seeing numbers and not getting anything manifested from it. I personally don't. And sometimes it can make you even seem spooky because you're saying you're seeing something, but you haven't went into deep revelation as to why you are seeing that, and you haven't been a student of numbers. When it comes to the Bible says, "Ask and it shall be given." And I just don't think a lot of people that saying they're seeing numbers are asking enough from God to give them the knowledge, the wisdom, and the revelation behind the numbers that they are seeing. And so that's why LSU won. That's why Kansas City Chiefs won. And yeah, I pretty much know, according to the economy, who will win the boys' game tomorrow as well too. But this is just a screenshot, and I cannot enlarge it any bigger than what it is. Let me try, however, just a little bit more. Okay, this is as big as I can get it, the full screen. But these are 5 nations also to produce a significant portion of the world resources. So again, the BRICS nation to create a global reserve currency. You have not heard of that. Again, BRICS right now, it is said that Mexico will join this as well. But BRICS is Brazil currently, Russia, India, Iraq is rumored to will be joining as well. China, South America, and South Africa. Why do I say South America? South Africa and Saudi Arabia. And so here we go. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is not only the number 5 at the top, the 5 nations that produce a significant portion of the world's resources. The number 5 is, let's get into these numbers, people. The numbers 5 is a number for God's hand, or a transfer of energy, right? A transfer of energy. Transfer of energy. It represents balance. Like one hand is for giving, the other hand is for receiving, right? A transfer of energy. When David slayed Goliath, he had 5 smooth stones. A transfer of energy. Those stones had to be thrown at David, at Goliath. Not David, but at Goliath, right? A transfer of energy. People, let me tell you this, it takes effort and energy to level up financially. That's why I don't talk about playing scratch off in a lottery. Even if you win it, it goes away fast because you have not put the effort and the energy in it. And so, as I'm speaking of the number 5 and the transfer of energy, we have a transfer of energy that's happening right now. And for some people, it's happening right under their noses, right? A transfer of energy, a transfer of wealth, a wealth transfer. Babylon represents United States will fall. Every country will have its own stable coin. It will have its own CBDC. No longer will the United States be the dominatory, the global reserve currency. So these 5 nations represent 26% of oil, 40% of corn, and 46% of wheat. Now, so what you have now is a commodities market, right? What you have right now, give me a second. Gotta make this screen small. I can't. Uh, Hold on. I can't even see my screen now. Something happened. I guess I made it too large, and I don't know how to reduce the size. So I'm gonna have to stop this live screen because I can't see you all. And how do I reduce this size? Give me a second. Oh, thank God. I just hit a button. All right, so we back. Good evening. Now I can read the comments. I don't even think they are seeing all these numbers. I don't think they are too. I have some people come on my live stream and say, I've been saying 1111 for 11 years, or since I was 11 years old. But, or some people say, I was born on 1111, right? I don't go into that type of detail, even though I think it's significant and it means something. That's just not my gifted area as of right now. I may study it in the future and get better at that, but as of right now, that's not what I operate in. Hello, Tony. Thank you for tuning in. Good evening to you. Right. And so now you have what's going on right now is commodities. And a lot of people think, I'm just gonna talk to you in our live stream. A lot of people that come on my channel sometimes they tell me I'm holding XRP, or they would definitely mention ISO 2000 22 coins, right? ISO 2000 22 coins. But about those coins, not all of them have met regulation yet, right? Hello, Judith. Thank you for coming in, and thank you above and beyond for being a Patreon member. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, the knowledge, and showing appreciation. I also believe I talked about the number 5, a transfer of energy. I believe in giving and receiving. So thank you for giving back to the information and the knowledge that I share. Um, I firmly believe that people don't give. That's why the Bible says people are forever learners and not coming into knowledge, because they can't ever comprehend something because they don't give back to what the knowledge that's been given out. So thank you so much. And so people talk about the ISO 2022 coins, which is really means that this was implemented. It was started in 2002 of last year. And so the update, what this is an update of the SWIFT system. The SWIFT system, which was implemented the year of my birthday, 1978, is a system that identifies with now bank transfers all over the world globally. It's called SWIFT, but SWIFT is not SWIFT anymore. It's very slow. It's very antiquated. And so when these central banks digital currencies, when these digital $2 come in, it's going to get an upgrade to the SWIFT system. And the most common and well known and talked about technology that will be used to operate the SWIFT system is XRP, right? But for cryptocurrencies to be legitimate currencies by ISO, they have to comply with both the new and old standards in the global financial system, right? They have to comply with the new and gold standard, and they have to meet what's called an ISO code. So the X means in XRP or XDX or XLM, for example, it means that no country is associated with the asset, right? Um, no country is associated with the asset, meaning that commodities are commodities everywhere in the world. There is no specific country that commodity only belongs to, or you will only find, right? For example, the code for gold is XAU, and silver is XAG. But for example, the reason why Bitcoin and Ethereum and like Solana are not on the ISO list right now, because it's an unidentified, unofficial code. Like if you put an X, like Malcolm X, he was global, Malcolm X, right? X represents a globalization. And you can't say XBT for Bitcoin because it conflicts with the ISO code, because BT stands for Bhutan, a country. And you can't put X in front of Ethereum, right? Because it conflicts with Ethiopia, because the symbol is ET for Ethiopia. And you can't, like Solana, you can't put it's an unidentified ISO code. So it's identical to the ISO code SOL for Peru. And so this is why these tokens, even though Bitcoin will be a global store of value, it is not going to operate as a currency. It's a different, because you have categories of cryptos. Layer ones, for example, are will be known as commodities in the commodity asset class. So Bitcoin will be in the commodity asset class in the store of value. And then you have those of securities, and then you have those who operate as a currency. right? And so, with that being said, this is why. Thank you so much for tuning in. He said, great information. Thank you so much, my friend. This is why a lot of people, especially if you're a middle class or whatnot, they really want XRP to be the chosen one. And I am not disagreeing that XRP will be the ISO um, 222 select. But this is what I do educate people about, that it's going to take years, and I'm saying years as of maybe 2025, before you really see this global adaptation take place. So really, as we experience high inflation that's upcoming, right? Can you go a year or maybe 2 years or wait into the spike of XRP to happen and even XLM? Can you go that long in length and wait without adding additional cash flow or passive income opportunities to your portfolio? Because as the central bank digital currency is launched this year in July, you're going to see higher inflation. And what's going to happen with higher inflation, right, is that a lot of people, when they see just a small amount of gains, not the big gains, not the future gains at XRP and XLM, they're going to have to liquidate and cash out, because inflation will force them to, because they have not added another stream of income. One thing that the rich and wealthy do, they never have one stream of income. They always have multiple streams of income. The poor working class have multiple dreams of being an overnight financial lottery winner or scratch off multimillionaire. So now the SWIFT global system is the global system that banks use right now to send funds internationally. And it's going to be entirely updated to ISO 222 coins, right? And this started last year and is continue on this year. And by 2025, the SWIFT system that's still in place now is going to be phased out by 2025. So you have this year and next year, and we don't know exactly what quarter or what time, whether it's going to be the first quarter, second quarter, third, or fourth quarter 2025, but it's going to phase out. My question to a lot of people is, as we are in this commodities war, if World War III happens, which I think it will, because the United States dollar is not going to lay down, or the United States government is not going to just lay down and lose their global reserve status. And with war comes high inflation. Now, what will happen as a result of high inflation is you're going to see, I showed earlier, if you're just now tuning in, how the BRICS nation, Brazil, Russia, India, soon to be Iraq, China, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, controls, and they have 3.2 billion in population. In areas they control over up to 40%, up to 40% of the commodities market. In fact, I just read an article today that stated that there has, let me see who did that. If I can find that article, because I read a lot in the span of a day. That so you have the BRICS nation, that the 5 nations, they produce 26% of oil. There has been a ruling for the reduction of oil already. So what will impact the reduction of oil is simply supply and demand. So BRICS makes, with 3.2 billion people, right, 26% of oil, 40% of corn. So much you can do other than with corn than to eat it. And 46% of wheat. So then the question is, okay, now this is going to be a commodities fight, because they are slashing, right? They're cutting off the United States, and they are slashing the amount of oil input. And so as a result, again, supply and demand, we're entering traveling season, even though you have places like Disneyland that's laying off 8,000 people and it's not even summer vacation time. So, what does that mean for the times ahead? You have to ask yourself that question because these multi-millionaire, these big businesses, Disneyland, Disney World, they already know what's ahead for the economy preparing. As you have layoffs with Amazon and Microsoft. And so you have the OPEC. OPEC is Organization of Petroleum Economic Control, right? And they have made today, this is today's news, a shocking million barrel cut in new inflation risk. Saudi Arabia, the Saudis, right? Cartel with its own 5,000 supply reduction. And this is why one um, Chintua, I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, Chintua, but this is why, yes, this is why we are in crypto linked commodities that include oil. Because these commodities, not only do they create passive income, right, but we have the power to liquidate them when we want to, whenever we want to. It is decentralized. We don't have to see the government anytime they're ready to um stop lending money to the economy. What do? They raise the interest rates, the interest rates. I mean, they do quantitative tightening. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Yeah, they do quantitative tightening. Means they increase the basis points from the banks. They make money not cheap anymore. They make it very expensive to borrow. They put higher interest rate. So that's centralized. Sometimes they're able to approve or even disapprove whatever you purchase with your money at your own bank. And they're definitely able to not give you your money, especially if you're getting over $10,000. They'll hold up your money for days and weeks, and they can approve or not approve wire transfers if you're trying to do something globally. So the banking system is a centralized government control system. Most people think they have control of their money, and they actually don't. And so this is the OPEC announced a surprise oil production cut more than 1 million barrels a day, posing a new risk. If you all can see this, because I didn't pay for this ad, posing a new risk for the global economy. And this was an unexpected move. So, with this being said, with last month's banking crisis, right, crude futures went on a 15-month low, nearly $70 a barrel in London, and speculation about Saudi Arabia and its partners also helped in that to cut the shore up and to the production. But now that the oil market and they're cutting that much from Saudi Arabia, those people that are in these crypto linked commodities are going to be very, very happy. And this is why I am teaching and educating even at this time of night, because I'm just not passionate about preparing myself and my daughter and my household. I'm passionate, and I feel my purpose is to also educate and inform others. Right. In fact, on the news today, Judy says, and thank you to my friend. Will you be in Mississippi this weekend? Are you coming to Mississippi? Let me know if I'll see your face in a place. We have an event in Mississippi with a beverage company that the company has also have a beverage linked commodity crypto that's backed by water, energy drinks, wine and spirits, beer. Um, did I say tea, coffee? Yeah, okay, you might. Judy says we are in big trouble. Right. United States is not producing anything, not producers of anything. And so now this is why I tell people, right, that Ethereum and Bitcoin will be store of value cryptos. Ethereum will be the brain of this global financial system, meaning that it will link and merger smart contracts and contractual agreement for big billion-dollar, million-dollar contracts. And then you'll have XDC that will work with Ethereum to Ethereum is like a public, um, a public currency or crypto right now. XDC would be both private and public as far as those transactions that need to be kept private. So you have XDC and Ether will work together. And then you have XLM that will work with governments. XLM will work with governments. Like Ukraine chose XLM, for example, to build its official CBDC. XRP is more geared towards the banking sector, right? And then XLM is geared towards the governments and digital currency. But again, this won't be phased out to 2025, right? So you have, which I don't know why people, like I said, XRP is usually the one that's most talked about. XLM probably second most, but you have XDC that's already compliant. XRP and XLM is most talked about because they are already members of ISO 200 and or 20002, right? They're already members of the standards body, but you have HDC, IOTA, and Algorand that are compliant. Now you got HBAR and you got Quant and you got ADA that are rumored to be compliant, right? But I believe these would be the only 7 because 7 is the number of divine transition biblically. On the 7th day, Jesus rested. 6 means completion. On the 6th day, everything was completed. Everything was finished. On the 7th day, Jesus rested. And the word rest there is in its original form means to bankrupt, to rest, to reset. When we think of rest sometimes, we think in terms of laying, take a nap, taking a quick sleep. No. Rest means to reset, to bankrupt, to go into a divine transition. And that's what happened. After everything was created, now the 8th day was the new beginning of a new transition from whatever the old earth looked like, because it was an earth before that. That's why Genesis 1:1 says it was darkness and void. It was dinosaurs or whatever existed before that in Genesis. And then the Revelation goes on to say it will be even another new heaven and new earth after what we know right now exists this earth. So it was something before Genesis. And then you had a Genesis gap where, because Genesis 1 and 26, 27, God made those humans and he said, or the God and Goddess said, man is made in our own image and likeness, and blessed them and told them to go multiply and dump and have dominion and increase. And then we have another humans made that was Adam, and a God called Adam. And then Adam named Eve, not God, right? And so we had a Genesis gap between Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. But let me get back to crypto. So you got XRP and you got XLM, both created by the same person, designed to move money at a very fast speed at very low cost. So you have these transactions. And XRP again towards the banking sector. But again, it's going to be 2025. So I ask people, do you want to wait to 2025? Because this next bull run is going to be for cryptos that have real use cases, real utility use, right? And XLM, if too many people have it in circulation, right, the government will suppress until they have either forced people to sell it due to high inflation and they needed to liquidate, right? They'll suppress it, just like they suppressed the price of gold in the 1930s during the Great Depression, until they confiscated it from all the people, or they changed the law and made it illegal for people to own gold. If you were caught with gold, you had either 10 years in jail and or a $10,000 fine. So they didn't really steal it from people because they did give you the cash value for it, but they gave you something that they knew that would lose 93% of its purchasing power since 1933. So I have people that are making passive income with real world commodities on the blockchain technology. Real world commodities, gold and silver will be used to reset the currency system because gold and silver is real money. Most people do not know that. They think cash. They think the dollar bill is money, but it's not money. Real money must be something that can never fade, never be corroded, that is accepted and has its value, right? Globally around the world. And that's only people gold and silver. It's always been real money. It has been real money in the Bible. It's as Robert Kiyosaki says, gold and silver was here before the cockroaches, right? And it's going to be here long after the cockroaches are gone, and it was here before the cockroaches came. And so when you look up the definition of money, you can look at Plato, for example. Plato and Aristotle suggested that is a connector of exchange without an end. It must have nature, quantity, and material properties, and cash has none of that. And so what's going on right now is that other countries are saying we are tired of giving you the real wealth, right, for your colored paper money that has lost over 93% of its purchasing power since the Fed's U.S. Treasury was created in 1944. They're saying that the United States dollar is purchasing less and less. And so you have these cryptocurrencies. Did you all know, for example, that aluminum is right now, there's a global shortage on aluminum, silver, and copper? A global shortage. So again, as we see global shortages and less, give me a second, less oil input, do you have what it takes for the next 2 years to sit back and wait and see how long it's going to take XRP to spike in price? And will the government treat XRP once it become their, and RippleNet once it become their technology, like they did gold, and find a way to force it out of the hands of people that take away the real wealth? Because that's exactly what they did with gold. So you got global shortages for aluminum to a 4-month peak. You have a global shortage of silver, and you have a global shortage right now of copper. Chinese authorities are aiming to cut pollution during the Winter Olympics, limiting the output of heavy aluminum smelters. So because precious metals like copper and gold, and well, not gold, but silver and aluminum are more industrial use, right? These are going to be more on demand than gold, which is just pretty much held as a store of value. And Bitcoin, again, will be used in the same way as physical gold, as a store of value as well. United States have, in sense, abused the privilege of having the, they have abused that incredibly. I definitely agree with you on that. They have overly abused their power, and mostly because of the military threat, right? Mostly because of the military threat and presence. But when you have other countries that are collaborating, combined together with three 1.2 billion people in population size and that are richer in commodities and business deals than you. There's you really that's a lost cause. Okay, so now you have we got natural gas, crypto linked commodities. So you know what happens when crude oil is supply is cut. When crude oil rises, natural gas rises. Right? They work together. They work in harmony, in unison, like that. And so when natural gas, in fact, the crude oil linked commodity, it has made 100 millionaires in 10 months. It was introduced in November of 2021. And then by June of 2022, when crude oil hit its all-time high, right, those persons, 100 people became millionaires and some multiple millionaires as well. So then you have the XPLR. I didn't say XRP. XPLR is the satellite technology that finds these commodities in the earth realm in a very eco-friendly way without destroying or destruction of the earth. And so for more information, we have also digital link gold. For every token that is mined, what you would be doing is making a one-time investment for a perpetual income or crypto rewards. When you purchase the digital software, you are rewarded the tokens. The tokens can be liquidated, but you are rewarded the tokens on a daily basis. They can then be liquidated to become cash or USD if you need it for emergencies, right? This is a different structure than buying and holding, right? This is accumulation and growing. So you're getting more and more tokens on a daily basis. You are, in essence, purchasing the goose that lays unlimited golden eggs, or an ATM that gives you infinite liquidity and cash, right? Because you'll want as much cash as you can get with its depreciation and value. So, again, I'm going to make this video short because my strength has not always returned. And short for me is under an hour. But people, let me say this. Money is either owned by you or loaned by you. Either you own a system that can help you produce money effortlessly and passively. I had my well, it's dark. I probably use the whiteboard tomorrow. It's in the background because most people don't know the difference between passive income, earned income, and or residual income. But let me just break that down. And they don't even know royalty income. And it's a very simple thing to do, but it's not easy. Now you might be saying, Queen, how can something be simple but not easy? I'm glad you asked. It's a very simple thing to do, but it's not easy. And it's not easy because most people do not have a financial education. Most people, for example, think debt freedom equals financial freedom. That's not true. You can use and leverage debt and credit to accumulate and gain assets. In fact, there are people that are purchasing these digital software license with cryptos that have real use cases because, again, when the next bull run comes, it's going to be cryptos that have real use cases, real utilities that's going to get the gains, not these pump and dump coins. So it's not easy because most people don't have a financial education. Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman, they teach you about the problems, but they don't give you real solutions. Working 2 jobs is not a real solution. It's a temporary fix. It could be a Band-Aid, but it won't ever work. Why? Because 2 jobs are for 2 people. And according to the IRS, they will tax one person like 2 people. So you become even more highly taxed. I have people to tell me that I had to quit my second job because I couldn't afford to pay the taxes on it. A job, a W-2, is just shorthand for the highest tax code. People that make money from a W-2 are paid the less, but they're taxed the highest. Percentage-wise, this is why Warren Buffett says percentage wise, he pay less taxes than his secretary. He's in a lower tax bracket. So you have to take your cash or your credit and you have to convert it into assets that's going to outperform and outpace inflation. There are people who are using cash value life insurance policies, for example, because they realize that cash is trash. Again, losing 93% of its purchasing power. And they're putting it into these cryptos that's linked to real commodities, real wealth in this earth, things that we use on a daily basis that must be consumed, replaced, and replenished. And it's highly valuable. Things that have must be dug in the earth realm and sought out and found and seeked. Right. And so you have passive income. Passive income is money made with little or no effort at all. This is what I'm talking to you about, passive income, where you just have a system that's doing the work for you. And then you have portfolio income. Portfolio income is just capital gains. It's if you purchase a gold 1 ounce coin for $2,000, for example, and then you sell it back for $2,500, right? You have a $500 capital gain. Or if you purchase a house or a home or real estate and you flip it, you have capital gains. But with capital gains also comes capital taxes, right? Portfolio income is when you buy low and you sell high. So you have royalty income that can come from intellectual property, right? It comes from also NFTs, which I have. I can't share my screen right now because it's locked and I don't have my cell phone. But NFTs, these crypto linked commodities, they are converted into NFTs. For example, someone spent between $3,000 and $6,000 on a perpetual digital software license for a crypto linked to black gold, BGLD. It has now changed to an NFT non-fungible token. It's listed on OpenSea and they're selling it for $153,000. Why? Because whoever gets that license will have a perpetual income stream coming in, and it will also have higher future profits as crude oil increases in price as well, again, because the production has been cut. So you have royalty income that comes from oil, gas, and minerals from land that you own in real estate. All of these cryptos, for the most part, have royalty incomes built into the software along with passive income. This is not proof of stake that you hear in the crypto world. This is not where like a money market account used to be, that you put your money in there for 12 to 18 months and you earn a certain interest rate, right? I don't even think they have money market accounts anymore. They used to do that, but and they may do, right? You leave your money in for some months or years and it's guaranteed to get, a small interest rate. Really too small to outpace inflation. Inflation is average 8 to 10% monthly, and some people don't even get that yearly. So these money market accounts is not staking crypto. Staking crypto gives you more of that crypto. This is when your crypto is getting compound interest, right, on the capital gains as the interest rate rises with the commodities market, also known as the futures market, and you're getting compound interest and passive income, meaning that you do little to no effort. And then you have residual income. Residual income is not always residual. For example, if you own any rental properties, if your tenant moves, which is your human resource that makes real estate valuable, then you don't have that residual. So residual is not always guaranteed. If you're in network marketing, your residual income depends on how many people are subscribed or pay on a monthly basis. This is not that. This is passive income through blockchain technology, which means blocks of ledger must be kept on the blocks, on the chains, and you are rewarded passively through a system, through a digital software. And you're getting in at a low entry points with positioning yourself, right? Because I'd rather be positioned than smart. I would rather be positioned and smart. My friend guy said it like this: some people are so addicted to intellectual masturbation. Intellectual masturbation. They know everything. They know about bricks. They know every ISO 222 coin, and they may have 1,000 or 2,000 or $5,000 in that. They don't have $10,000 because they don't have enough, or maybe a couple of $100, but they don't take action. They do not take action. They can have good conversations at the salon or the beautician if you're a woman, or the barbershop if you're a man. They can tell you everything about BRICS Nation. They can tell you everything about how the United States have cheated, in their opinion, or abused, for lack of better words, other countries, and robbed them of their commodities for cheap colored money. They can tell you everything about the 7 chakras, everything about the spirit or religion world. They can quote every prosperity scripture in the Bible. You know, Deuteronomy 28, the Lord give me power to get wealth. And one they love the most is Proverbs. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. I always ask them, though, why don't you question, why does the wicked have the wealth in the first place? The first sentence of that scripture tells you the wealth of the wicked. Why do the wicked have the wealth? And my friend guy, we was talking about 3 things today. 3 principles of money. Number 1, money must be made. That's number 1, right? The Bible says a man don't work, he cannot eat. I don't care if it's earned income. You need a job, even if that means just over broke. You got to find a way to make some money. There's one reason I don't believe in scratch off, right? Then money must be managed. And you got to learn how to manage your money. You got to learn how to budget and how to live within your means, right? In other words, don't look rich and be living paycheck to paycheck, right? And then money should be multiplied. This is our biblical, it's Matthew 25, the parable of the talents. The man that had the least amount of talents, the least amount of gold, he had 1 according to his own ability. Right? You must have the skills to pay the bills. Matthew 25. He was given 1 because that was the skill set, ability that he was on. And he did not manage that money correctly. He went and hid it in the ground. Meaning that it is unbiblical to have your money in the bank and it's not making you more money. That's called the time value of money. The only time money should be in the bank account is so you can use it as currency. You can move it to pay your mortgage, to pay your rent, to pay for your groceries, to pay for your gas, to pay for essential items. But having your money in the bank should never be a mechanism for multiplying your money, ever. So the man that had the less skill set to pay the bills, he went and hid his money in the ground. Money is called currency for a reason. It should be moving. It should be in some system. Whether you are sleeping, right? Whether you are awake, it's best to make money in your sleep and not always on your feet. Money should always be in a multiplication system. And this is why this man was cursed and sentenced to hell on earth. He didn't die to go to hell where there was weeping and gnashing of teeth. He was cursed and sent to hell on earth because he did not manage and multiply his money correctly. Now, just think about the people that spend their money. At least this man, I tried to give him some credit when I read that in the Bible. I said, well, at least he didn't go out and spend it. He could have took himself to a steak and seafood dinner. He could have went to Miami Beach for a vacation. You got a whole gold coin. At least he had the mindset to just not spend it and put an end to it. The word spend has E-N-D. He at least saved it. He kept it. But in the Bible, staying at another level, not multiplying, not producing, is a curse. God says, Genesis, multiply and have dominion on this earth, and nothing less is expected. And so a lot of people were taught to trade time for money. They were taught to labor for money, not leverage it. And that's why this is very simple, but it's not easy, because people have been taught these principles and they don't have a financial education. The rich and wealthy teach their children to leverage money, not to labor for it. They teach their children that money is just a tool, it's just a resource to have a better quality of life. They teach to not work for money, but put your money in position to work for you. And so everyone that's a part of my team that's in these cryptos that are linked to real use cases, real commodities, real worth, they are 10 steps ahead of everybody else and position themselves for this great reset and for this economic transformation. And I tell people all the time, the balance in your bank account shows your money IQ. Your balance in your bank account, it shows your money IQ. And so with that saying, people, either you want generational wealth or generational poverty right now in this lifetime, because this is going to be this reset button, this great reset is going to be the have and the have nots. Either you're going to be rich and wealthy or poor. The middle class is going to be done away with. Central bank's digital currency is going to take you out of certain liberties. That's why I tell people, if you want to make your money faster, right, it's easier to get in these cryptos linked commodities, because commodities are going to rise in value first, right? And then if you want to make 40K or 50K so you can afford to put more into Bitcoin, which is the people's money, then that's how you do that. You get in at very low entry fees. You don't get in when something is hitting an all-time high, which a lot of people, again, it is simple, but it's not easy because people don't have financial education. And then they call it a scam. I lost money at Bitcoin. I said, well, when did you buy? Oh, when it was $69,000. Oh, you bought it when it was at the all-time high? You didn't buy the dip? You didn't buy when it was in the red? You had to buy when you saw evidence? No. Warren Buffett says always buy when there's blood in the streets. Always. And so ignoring innovation right now, people, is going to be expensive for many. And your mindset can either make you million or it can either cost you millions. Let me say that again. Ignoring innovation right now can be expensive. And your mindset is either going to cost you millions or make you millions. When people are not educated about money, their first thought process is to spend it. That's all they know to do with money. Go to work for it, earn it, and spend it. Go to work for it, earn it, and spend it. Go to work for it. Oh, I got to add this. Pay bills, spend it. Go to work for it, pay bills, spend it. And they repeat that cycle of oppression, of systematic oppression and slavery until they work, pay bills, and they die. So again, if you do a tenth of what everyone else is doing with this opportunity, you won't regret it. The only regret you'll have is that you didn't start sooner, because or 6 months ago, because this commodity market is going to spike up. Some people are not going to be able to afford the price of gas this summer. If you think the price of gas was high last summer, wait till this summer hits. Right? Wait until this summer hit. If you think it was high last summer, with this just production of oil cut by Saudi Arabia, just wait until this summer comes. There are already gas pumps that are having an algorithm. They're already programmed to accept double-digit gas prices, meaning $10 and higher. They reset those gas pumps last year. So this new digital reserve system is coming. Everyone will be using cryptocurrency. It is inevitable. Again, if you ignore technology, it is going or innovation, it is going to be it's going to cost you financial peace and mental peace, right? And so everyone will be using cryptocurrency. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your friends, uh, you know, but this, according to this article, the current financial fiat system is changing, and paper money we have been using, including coins and cash, will be eliminated and replaced by digital currency. This is why I also been telling people you need to get your physical silver and your physical copper. Hello, Rob. I was just showing your screenshot of your portfolio. Since you're on, let me pull it up and show it again. I am so proud that you are positioning yourself and your family for this wealth transfer, because you know Dave Ramsey teaches that financial peace is getting two jobs. That's, to me, that's not peaceful. That's not peaceful to me. Having two jobs is stressful. But hey, you can have one job and you can have your money multiplied in a way that it could eventually replace that job. So ISO 20002 standard came into play. This happened in November of last year, so they're still updating it this year. And it will usher in CBDCs again, which is scheduled to launch in July in the United States, a new global financial system, a massive opportunity for investors. Massive, massive opportunity. Either you're going to be a part of it or you're going to miss. So this was 1988. Number 8 is the upside down infinity sign, right? And it said, get ready for the new world currency. It shows a phoenix rising from the ashes of a burning. Again, XRP, RippleNet is associated with the phoenix. You can see that there is a gold coin that's a representation of physical gold. You have 10 phoenix. Excuse me. 10 phoenix that's represented there. I might have to get out this live stream. My voice is getting parched. But you have the 10 phoenix in Acts chapter 10. Vision happened. It talks about vision transformation. So you have that number 10. 7 plus 3 is 10 as well. The Bible talks about 10 in representation of a tithe, right? 10 is a network. It's the 10 commandments. It represents the 5 spiritual laws and 10 commandments and the 5 natural laws. And prosperity is about both spiritual and natural laws to be applied. This is why some people in the church world miss it, because they think it's just about the spiritual part. They think it's just about the religious part. They think that they can just name it and claim it. And then some people in the natural world miss it because they think it's just about the natural, with the omission of having communication and relationship with God, and being able to be a visionary and be able to hear the voice of the Lord and move whenever God tells you to move and act whenever God tells you to act. So prosperity is both spiritual and natural. And so this is the article, and this is the physical gold coin. That's the number 10 breakdown about the spiritual and natural transformation that will take place, and get ready for a new world currency. And so the 50-year SWIFT system, 50 years, you see the XLM, I'm sorry, Stellar, also in that, I forgot to mention that. And then under the clause of the Phoenix, you have United States cash that's burning. Now, this new financial system was planned at least 33 years in advance. 33 years in advance. 33. And so this is the implementation of blockchain technology, people. The 50-year-old SWIFT system is gone. That was implemented in 1978. Again, the number 50 biblically represents the year of Jubilee, when the old oppressed system is released and a new system comes in. And the slaves are set free to return to their homeland. But guess what? Again, that freedom doesn't always mean financial freedom. When the slaves were set free, if they didn't have somewhere to go in the 50th Jubilee, they were free, but they were broke. You have people that are homeless that have no debt, no mindset to want money. They're free in essence, but they're homeless. They're free from the financial system, but they're not free from mental oppression of wondering where their next meal will come from, or having the privilege of having a warm bath and the comfort of sleeping in a mattress in a home. So to me, there's not really freedom, there's torment. Right. And so this article was written on the early days of the internet, and well before the world had ever heard of Bitcoin or even cryptocurrency. I want you to notice that. And so the Stellar XLM is also an ISO listed coin. But again, I do not ISO. I thoroughly believe it's going to take 2025 before we see that full updated system of SWIFT. And my question to you all is, are you just going to let these crypto with commodities skyrocket in price and build you and get your money built up faster? Or are you going to have to sit and wait until these ISO coins are implemented and used in full implementation to about 2025? Because XRP will win their lawsuit. I'm pretty sure that they will, right? But even when they win, I can see XRP maybe raising to $1 then, because they know that there are some people that's holding it. They're going to suppress their price as long as they can. And what if war happens first until the prices are increased? So this is Rob's portfolio. Shout out to Rob, you all. You can put in the comments, congratulations, Mr. Rob Hill. He has 8 natural gas cryptocurrencies. 11, the 11 number is the number that represents a great reset, a transition, right? I saw on the news today that 11 million people were at danger from was it 11 tornadoes that hit out of the 50 states. 11 million. They kept 11 was used twice. 11, like 9/11, is a sign of destruction and wealth transfer at the same time. A transfer of frequency, a transfer of energy. Genesis 11 talked about the Tower of Babel. The people were building a higher tower because they wanted to get on a higher frequency level. And the gods, which is plural in Genesis 11, came down and destructed their language. Language is frequency. Language is energy. Towers, frequency, energy. 11. The Twin Towers, 9/11, had millions of dollars of physical gold and silver buried under the rubbles of the Twin Towers. It represents destruction, as the destruction of the Tower of Babel was done through the mixture of language. And it also represents a wealth transfer, right? It represents a collaboration too, because when the people language were mixed, those who were speaking on the same language, the same energy frequency, then it became into collaboration, right? And so I'm pretty sure those that was on a low frequency language and vibration collaborated as well. It represents a separation of vibrations, a separation of energies as well. And this is what's going to happen. So he got 11 aluminum, which is a global shortage. I told you all about the beverage license that's coming to Mississippi, that's here in Mississippi. We will be on site. Some people want to know, well, where are these locations? Where are you getting this natural gas? Where are you getting this? They're getting it from contracts, from royalties, that people that have minerals on their land, from Nebraska, from Ghana, from Africa, Idaho, right? In fact, the BGLD, the black gold, They've have now accumulated, I think, over 100, or I won't say 100, but they've got more people that they're getting royalties income from, more mining projects, and that those royalties that people pay them through the contractual agreement, through finding that oil that they would never have found without this XPLR technology, is then passed on to the people that have the license. This is digital link gold crypto license. It is not backed by gold. It is linked to gold, meaning that for every gram of gold that is mined when you purchase this software, you can retrieve it for every token. It's equivalent to 1 gram of gold, and it's approximately 30 grams of gold that's needed to produce 1 ounce of gold. So you accumulate 30 plus tokens. That's a gram of gold, which is equivalent to 1 ounce of gold. This is blocks. This is commercial real estate projects. So the transaction fees that's passed on through agents and brokers through real estate commercial deals, not residential, are now passed on to the license holders. And the amount on the bottom represent how much and infinite liquidity that he's getting up to 10 years. Because all of these licenses, especially the ones you can see on the bottom, they have infinite liquidity that's guaranteed for a minimum of 10 years. This is the technology. And grow, he has 8 grow, natural gas and aluminum. I've been over there. Grow is high yielding agriculture. This is supported by weed, hemp for health and healing reasons, right? Soybeans, rice, mangroves, cocoa beans. Cocoa beans itself is a high commodity. You got cocoa butter, you got cacao, which is good, healthy chocolate, right? This is all the supporting, and people farming season is now open. In fact, the grow digital asset was up on today alone. Just that grow. Again, real use cases, real assets that you can liquidate. What is the cryptocurrency website? Text CC, because you have to be a member, to 331-444-5556. This is not open to the public. This is a member base, insider, exclusive only opportunity. You can't find these on crypto.com, Coinbase, or BNB, right? This is a screenshot. This is the infinite liquidity value. On the bottom, you see the amount of tokens. So again, this is about accumulation and growing, not buying and holding. One investment, one purchase of the digital software can give you perpetual income for up to 10 years or longer. So these are the tokens at the bottom. In the last 24 hours, right at 10%. And this is it's 52 cents. This is finding things that's under $1, under a penny, so you can get higher future returns. Samuel, great to chat with you as well. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, I love Grow. Grow is about to grow. It is farming season. They also have irrigations system that they found to help these farmers grow. Is mainly the core, the heart of Grow is the 10,000 acres of land in Ghana. I think is it Ghana that they acquired 10,000 additional acres of farming. And even cacao. I talked about the cocoa plants. You have to think about cocoa plants as well, in its purest natural forms, right? All of these healthy and healing herbs connected to that, along with rice and soybeans and mangroves. Mangroves are found. You all see all of these tornadoes hitting these different states. Mangroves are found mainly in tornado weather states, because not only do they remove carbon dioxide from the air, but they also help combat high winds and tornado weather areas for less destruction. That's how rare and high demand that mangroves are. Okay. Yes, they added 10,000 more acres of land. And that beverage license that I showed you all, those licenses are sold out. So a lot of these sell out, and they sell out fast. I've been telling people do recommend aluminum right now because of the global shortage. And then always back in the technology, the XPLR that can help you find these commodities. XPLR is basically supported by every commodity, is linked to every or backed by every commodity that it finds. Whether it's digital and gold, whether it's crude oil, and where there's crude oil, there's natural gas, right? And it helps find these water pockets. We have new projects that's going to be released Wednesday. It's called drip that helps the irrigation system because the farmers in Ghana right now could only harvest once a year. Now the farmers are able to harvest up to 3 times a year because they're implementing and finding the best irrigation system for these crops. And they're also, able to do soil conducive tests that lets them know what crops will produce better and grow better in this particular type of soil. And then we have Swipe. Swipe is where you get royalty and passive income from the banks. Every time someone swipes their Visa or MasterCard, connected with the Bank of England that does not connect with just anybody, you get the royalties from that, from the transactions. So people, it's time to level up. It's time to leverage your cash. It's time to convert your cash into assets. And it's time to be a part of passive and residual income, right? So with that being said, I'm signing out. Got to get some water. My voice is parched. Thank you all for coming in on this Sunday night live stream. Hit the thumbs up. And if you are watching me on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you are subscribed to my channel on YouTube. And if you are watching this at night, text me CC in the morning and I will get that information to you. That is my personal phone. It's not automated text back. That's a personal business line. And so, whenever I see the text, that's whenever I respond, if I'm able to. Thank you. I appreciate you for tuning in and supporting the knowledge. And I'm so glad you acquired your software license as well. I'm looking forward to you definitely becoming a Deca millionaire or beyond one day. All of you all, because like I said, you are 10 steps ahead of everybody else for this financial system reset, right? This is a great opportunity. And everybody position, again, I'd rather be positioned and smart, is going to experience wealth in this lifetime. And it's a great thing to experience, right? Why not? Why not? We know what it's like sometimes to live paycheck to paycheck. We know what it's like to work 40 plus hours a week. Let's position ourselves to know what it's like to be wealthy, because rich and wealthy people buy their time, right? The working class sell their time, people. Let's buy your time back, because time is the most expensive commodity that we have. The most expensive thing you spend is your time. So now put your money to work, right? Queen out. You all have a great night.